So you want to learn about using the cannabinoids for arthritis and fibromyalgia, which is an incredibly hard word for me to say. We can get into that. I'm Lex Pelger. I'm sponsored by the Cannabis Health and Research Initiative, who will pay you $100 to talk about your use of our favorite plant. Link in bio. On the cannabinoids, ask me anything. So arthritis is a disease of joint inflammation that sometimes has an autoimmune component to it, and fibromyalgia is considered a central pain disorder that involves the nervous system. And now people are starting to think that maybe that also has an autoimmune component to it. For both these conditions, there is good data on using the cannabinoids. For instance, this review on CBD for Fibro found it reduced pain, improved sleep quality, promoted self-care and performance of usual activities, reduced fatigue, increased memory, decreased anxiety and depression, increased libido, and improved mood. And for rheumatoid arthritis, this is a nice paper that has this lovely chart about how the cannabinoids help with the pain and the inflammation. What about the specific studies on how this actually helps people? There is a survey of women with chronic pelvic pain and fibro, and it found that CBD improved their pain, insomnia, and anxiety, as well as being substituted for at least one other medication, which is something you often hear. But there's a lot of evidence for THC as well. There's data from the UK Medical Cannabis Registry, and they found that cannabis-based medicinal products improved all measures of symptom severity, including pain, anxiety, and sleep. And in people with fibro, using 6 months of the Bedrocan cannabis, they had reduced severity scores, especially for epigastric pain, abdominal pain, stomach burning, and bloating. And furthermore, here are 2 studies with THC causing significant improvements in pain intensity, depression, and quality of life, as well as reducing painkiller usage. But then you have combining them. What about taking a 1-to-1 of THC and CBD at the same time? This study in people with fibro found that for 3 months of a 1-to-1 THC CBD caused significant improvements in pain scores, stiffness levels, sleep quality, and fibro symptom scores. Unfortunately, there's a lot of barriers. In this survey, that is a thesis project, many people describe cannabis as transformative, helping with pain, sleep, and quality of life, but that they experience stigma, lack of medical guidance, high cost, and difficulties in determining dosage. That's too bad, and that's what we want to help with now. Now for arthritis. CBD has a more mixed track record in arthritis. Sometimes the CBD only works as well as a placebo, like in this study, but then you have studies like this one where a topical CBD improved many factors in people with osteoarthritis of the hand. You also have this survey of people with arthritic joint pain. And not only did CBD help with symptomatic relief, especially in domains of pain intensity, physical function, and sleep, it allowed many people to reduce or cease pharmacological treatments, including opioids, acetaminophen, and anti-inflammatories. So overall, for both these conditions, you have people who are responders, and this helps a lot, and others where it doesn't help them that much. The only way to know is by trying. I always tell people start with a CBD-rich full-spectrum hemp extract for 3 weeks. Let it build up in your system, see how much help you're going to get from that, and how much you can tolerate those microdoses of THC. I think if you get up to 50 milligrams of CBD per day, that's a good place to see how much benefit you're going to get from high levels of CBD and microdoses of THC. Then start experimenting with topicals, because one of the benefits of topicals is you know right away if they're working. One of the negatives is the effects often only last an hour or two, and so you might have to be applying them several times a day. But if that's where relief comes from, that's where relief comes from. And now that you have a bunch of CBD in your system, it's time to start experimenting with THC. And it's especially good because CBD protects you from getting too high from THC. The presence of CBD makes the THC bind less strongly to your CB1 receptor, which is the psychoactive receptor of cannabis that gets you high. So with CBD present, you will get less psychoactive effects from THC. It, of course, won't make it go away, but you will have kind of a blanket of protection from that psychoactivity. When using THC, it's always important to start low and go slow as you increase your dosage. And the 2 main ways to get in your system are actually very good at working together. One is an oil, and that might take half an hour to work, but then the benefits often last for hours. So some people's routine involves cannabis oil in the morning and in the afternoon to kind of get all day relief. But then you have vapes, which are great for acute flare-ups. And the nice part is, once you take a puff or two, within a minute or two, you know exactly how high you're going to get. So it's very easy to titrate your dose so you're getting enough for symptom relief, but not so much that the psychoactivity is messing up your day. So there's my basic advice on using cannabinoids. Please feel free to ask any questions around this. And the last thing I'll mention is electroacupuncture. One of the most proven things about acupuncture is it activates your endocannabinoid system. And since acupuncture is generally referred to as the most proven of the non-traditional therapies, the idea that you can use acupuncture to help via your endocannabinoid system could be something that helps you.